down that cold, dinty moor, it is time to listen to Roast Mortem Podcast with your friends or by yourself. My name's Tom.
My name's Tom.
I am a non-Tom Cody.
I'm Tom.
There we go.
Isn't it great to be with three Toms tonight and a Cody?
You guys should rent a cabin and get some nephews.
Well, that's rough, Cody.
Good open. I'm patting myself on the back of my dick.
I'm not old enough to have slaves.
Actually, I'm Mike, so.
Uh-oh.
Oh, bro.
Bro, how unsick. What's up?
How you doing?
Yeah, how's your weeks?
Pretty good. I just found out that Mike puts soup and salad in the same bowl
Yeah. Less dishes gotta wash.
I agree.
at the same
but
time.
Why? Yeah, no, don't do that.
Those are for separate bowls, dude. This isn't a burrito bowl. We can't do that. You can't put the meat in there.
It's my life. If I want to put salad and soup together, because I want to not do dishes anymore.
Just at least do one then the other. Don't mix them.
Oh, he mixes them. Yeah.
You gotta
just
stir
like
it up.
polish
you never
the
had
salad,
soup salad?
and then take the soup, but
Wait,
never bowl.
like, so you're doing like a clam chowder and then you just dump a C's in there?
You know what it is? I'm living in 2020, and you guys are in the last decade.
Wow.
Were you
Don't
alive
have
last
time.
decade, Mike?
It was very insulting of you to say something so harmful.
Mike just okay boomered us.
Yeah, right? So weeks. So I found out Mike did that. That was very upsetting.
That was a big part of the week.
Fuck. I did something I wanted to tell, but I'm so beside myself about this single bowl situation. I feel like a two-bowled slave. Cody, what about you?
Me? This entire week, I've been mildly annoyed by children, at the risk of reinforcing this boomer label. But I was approached at a shopping center by a group of 5 children, all in their teenage years, and they didn't look in rough shape. They were well off. They had like cool clothes on. They had backwards hats and fanny packs and all that.
Cody,
cool kid
just because
stuff.
people tie their shoes doesn't mean they have cool clothes on.
Yeah. they left the top button on their button up down, so
Damn.
they could flaunt the neck. And this group of 5 children asked me for $1, and I was just so confused by it. I was just like, "Why do you need $1?" And they're like, "We need bus fare," and like bus fare here is $2.75. And I just had a hard time believing like 5 children didn't have $2.75 between them. That's less than like 60 cents a head on average, and I was just like, I've never seen this.
Did you flash back to like getting bullied in school? You're like, I don't have $1. Here's a honey bun.
Yeah, that was
Here's a
it.
honey
It
bun.
was
Ah.
Cowering in front of a bunch of 13-year-olds.
That's my pretzel money.
The math doesn't make sense. Cody's autism slightly goes into overdrive. Like,
Yeah.
oh, $1. That's 20 cents each.
You Larry David that
How's
shit.
there not $1 between the 5 of you? And the second fucking instance, I was very annoyed. I was in line buying a fucking ruled notebook for myself. Believe it or not, I know. I treated myself that day.
Ooh.
Was it
And-
marbled?
No, it was a moleskin. It was very nice. And the small girl behind me was constantly making fun of Visco girls. Like
What's that?
she was. You know what a Visco girl is?
No.
No.
Really? Travis?
I've always seen it
Mike?
in like Instagram bios, but I never click on it.
Yeah, Visco girl is just a very the segments out of
I thought it
place.
was like
then.
Tumblr or some shit. Is
Yeah,
it-
like Tumblr girls, they have scrunchies on their wrists. They always have like fucking lip balm. They're very comfortably dressed in like a hoodie, and they're just very bubbly. And you can tell a Visco girl from other girls because they have 2 catchphrases, and one is I
Mom
oop,
and dad.
and the other one is SKSKS.
Oh, I seen that. That's
Yeah,
what those
that's Visco girls. Like
retarded
that's,
Oh, they're
people
talking
do
in
that.
code,
Yes.
I see.
yes, and the 2 girls behind me were openly mocking them to the point where they were worse than Visco girls. So just like it was beside me because I wanted to take them and be like, "You're more annoying than Visco girls." It's like imagine if like I went around to everyone on the block I live on, knocking on their doors and just being like, "Aren't Jehovah's Witnesses the fucking worst?" Like, no, I would be worse than Jehovah's Witnesses mocking them in such a way. And I just fucking blew a boomer aneurysm and grabbed my notebook and went home.
Well, glad you survived that rough one.
Well, I have another disgusting week about being in public and having my pants on.
I had my pants on for the entire 2 stories, by the way.
Yeah,
Cool.
I went into a bathroom to take my pants off in a place where you can take your pants off in public.
That's allowed. Yep, that's allowed there.
And I saw a fucking catheter next to the toilet.
Yeah, did you make a wish?
Is that what you're supposed to do? You're supposed
Yeah,
to
you
lift it
make
up
a
and
wish.
blow it away.
Yeah, you make a wish when you see a catheter.
People are gross.
Little surprise.
That's horrible, Travis.
That's pretty much my week. I saw a catheter in a bathroom. Just
Catheter
laying
in the
on ground.
wild.
It was like an anaconda, but it had been in someone's penis or urethra or whatever. It could have been in
Yeah.
their mouth before that. Who knows?
Wow.
That's pleasant.
Holy heck.
This straw tastes funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is gross. Tonight I'm drinking heavy beer. Because I'm going to be reading a lot, so I need to take in more alcohol in between
Oh, that makes sense.
between the sentences.
Can I have one of those? You got any extra more beer?
Yeah, dude. Drink beer.
Drink beer. Got my Montucky.
Give me one there.
Got my monster.
That extremely smooth transition happening between a person's catheter and the episode that we're about to talk about. Very smooth transition there. Whew. All right.
Tom.
So, yes.
I am so excited to know who's on the chopping block tonight. So excited.
I'm excited for everyone who's about to be here listening to this. This is my favorite person in the world, hands down.
Oh, I'm sorry they're dead.
Well, you know, this guy lived fast and furious.
Fat and furious?
He was Toronto drifting the entire time. He's the world's greatest mayor, the one, the only, Rob Ford.
Oh, my goodness. Look at him.
Bored.
Eh.
Look at all of him.
Yeah.
I
There's-
forgot about all this gentleman.
There's not much to dislike about this guy. He is one of the finest people to ever walk the face of the planet. A barrel-shaped lummox of a man who gave no shits and made drugs and alcohol somehow even cooler than they already are.
Man of the people.
Miracle worker.
Following in his father's footsteps, his eye for business eventually got him into the Canadian politics realm. And his partying brought him some unwanted international attention.
For what?
Well, I don't want to give away too much. I'm sure a lot of our listeners know already, but let's find out what makes Rob Ford Toronto's and possibly the world's finest mayor.
Do you know if you stand in Buffalo, you could see Rob Ford?
Really?
Across the border. Yeah, over the Great Lake. You could just see him. He'd just be there. There'd be a cloud over his head, and he'd just
That's something.
yeah, man.
He actually is the cloud. He's like a cloud wearing a suit.
Oh.
It's great. We're going to need to go into a little family background on him because this guy didn't just come out of nowhere. He's a result of what people refer to as the Toronto Kennedys.
Ooh, a proud lineage.
I'm interested. Thoroughbred.
Fine line.
So the most important figurehead, obviously, we have to talk about his dad.
Sure.
Father Doug Ford Sr. was a Depression child raised by a single mother, just scraping by.
Nice.
Really hardworking guy, and he made things happen his whole life. He wanted to be successful. He always had a fire under his anus. And in 1962, he and a friend, Ted Harriet, started a company called Deco Labels, which thrived for years and is still doing business today.
What do they do?
Yeah.
They make Art Deco labels?
They make labels for businesses of all kinds.
Oh,
So
cool.
custom engraving, stickers, things like that.
Tupperware.
They
warning.
will print up manuals too. All that kind of shit.
Like do not lick this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
don't
like
even do
the
it.
label that goes on those flavor packets that come with shoes.
Right. Don't lick them.
Don't know.
Smoke it. He eventually bought out his friend and became the sole owner of Deco.
Good.
Very successful company. Doug Ford got his first of politics while helping Alan Eagleson run for Ontario Legislative Assembly as the Progressive Conservative MPP.
Progressive conservative?
Yeah, they exist, man.
Wow.
I don't know, I just thought that it was like those were the like opposites.
They're not. You have to remember that these words are used terribly in terms of politics. Conservative doesn't mean anything conservative.
I guess it makes more sense in Canada.
For example, in Australia, the Liberal Party is their Conservative Party.
Good at governor.
And then
I don't know if you're fucking with me or not.
I had to look that up myself. I was a little confused.
Well, their toilets flush backwards.
Their
so-
Liberal Party is called Labor.
Yeah.
And then their Conservative Party is called the Liberal.
Huh. Yeah, that
everything's
must have to
reversed
do with the
down there.
koalas or some shit.
Seasons are reversed. Politics are reversed. Toilets
Yeah.
are reversed.
Dude, they call it Maccas.
Macca.
Maccas. It's not McDonald's, it's Mecca's. But anyway,
Macca's.
we're going back to
Macca.
Canada.
Hungry Jacks, not Burger King.
Outback.
Alan Eagleson is also a funny character. We're probably not going to cover him at any point, so here's a little bit of him. He was defrauding NHL players and tournaments, and he was charged by the FBI with 34 counts of racketeering, obstruction of justice, embezzlement, and fraud. He did a lot of work for the hockey people and fucked that up somehow. The guy spent some time in jail and was a lawyer who was disbarred, and apparently he's still alive. He had one of the highest awards in Canada, the Order of Canada,
Oh.
presented to him, and then revoked for being a scumbag.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
Oh, come on. You got to hold on to that.
Give me that maple leaf back, you idiot.
Anyway, this short time spent with Eagleson in the Legislative Assembly inspired Doug to get into politics, and eventually he was elected to the same position, Legislative Assembly, in Ontario from 1995 to 1999. Now that we have some perspective on Doug Sr.'s professional life, let's see what this man did at home, in bed, and possibly in the kitchen sometimes.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Crap is
She
snap.
didn't
Clotted
catch me
cream.
on the counter. It wasn't Doug.
Doug married Diane Campbell in 1956. These two dumplings must have had sex at least 4 times because they gave birth to 4 of the slipperiest children imaginable. Kathy in 1960, Randy in 1961, Doug Jr. in 1964, and finally our subject, Rob, in 1969.
Good year.
That is so weird that you have your junior, the third child in.
Yeah, right? Fuck
That
Randy,
doesn't make
right?
any sense.
I don't love you, Randy.
So they lived in Etobicoke, Ontario, their whole lives. This is in Toronto as well. It's a ward in Toronto. They all went to the same school, Scarlet Heights Collegiate. Wow, I can't pronounce anything. The 2 older kids, Randy and Kathy, were basically knuckle-dragging half-wits from a very early age.
I see.
Randy was always the school bully that got into fistfights, petty burglary, even, dealing some hard drugs for a while. He even managed to kidnap someone over drugs once, and his dad lawyered him out of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tom, hold on. So I know Rob Ford was a very large gentleman. You alluded to the fact that his father was a dumpling.
Yes.
Were all this family rather exceptionally obese?
They were artistically rotund.
Oh, I see.
They were sculpted. They looked as though their bodies were water balloons that were being hooked up to faucets and then turned on over time very slowly, and they begin to grow, and you can see their internal organs moving around as they did their public speeches and whatnot.
Okay, so he's just this chubby bully kid like, yo, give me the drugs.
Yeah.
I like to imagine a translucent whoopee cushion full of cream cheese.
Now, Kathy Ford, I'm going to talk about a few times in this podcast because, she's alleged to have ties with the Canadian chapter of the KKK, and
Wow.
Yeah, they had
and to
that.
have been involved in spectacular drug-related violent events, which I will cover some of.
Kathy.
The
More-
KKK?
Yeah, that one. So, more on them later. In short, Rob and Doug were the good kids of the family.
Wow.
They
That says a lot.
Yeah, right.
They did well in school. They played sports. They made friends. They were the well-liked jocks, opposed to their older siblings who were just A-plus meat dunts.
What sport? What jocks? What
Oh, they were
sports does he play?
football men, and not
okay.
not footy. Like they played American football.
Football.
That was very popular in Etobicoke at the time.
I think I think we're probably talking about linemen, right?
Yes,
Kind of
yes.
like Gaston Means hidden.
Gaston.
Yeah.
Doug Ford Sr. had made their Etobicoke home somewhat of a museum, directing it with fine pieces of art he found on his worldly travels. He was also one of those dudes who, I guess because he grew up in the Depression, would hide large amounts of cash everywhere.
Under his mattress.
Yeah, and thought he was being slick about it. Definitely not a good combo when you have a bunch of junky children.
Yep.
He and Diane would go traveling, and the two separate groups of kids, the junkies and then the lummoxes, they would get into their respective mischief. The older ones would snoop around the house and find Dad's money and cool artifacts and spend that shit on drugs, while Doug and Rob, being the good kids, would have typical jock house parties, blasting rails of blow, but they respectively bought that with their own allowances. So,
Good for
Respectable.
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I raked outside, Daddy. I need some wines, Daddy.
Here you go, son. This is 100 Canadian dollars. If you smell it, it smells like maple syrup.
Is that true?
That's how you know it's real.
Yeah,
got the
actually,
Queenie
does.
on it.
Canadian money smells like maple syrup.
Yes.
That's cool.
Unless a fantastic joke was played on me by every single Canadian I've met when I
That
was in
would be
Toronto.
funny.
American money smells so bad.
Yeah, it smells like hooker anus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cocainus. Cocainus.
Doug Jr., from about 15 to 22, was selling large quantities of hash out of his parents' basement.
I love hash.
Rob always wanted to play football, like I said. He worked really hard training for it, but he was just too fat and slow and generally untalented to go anywhere with it. Later in life, Rob would go on to become a volunteer football coach and had donated $20,000 to equip the Don Bosco team and started a foundation called the Rob Ford Football Foundation.
Ain't so bad.
No, it sounds all good. And the coaching did end abruptly when he manhandled one of the players he was angry with.
Maybe
Don't
not.
really know all the details on it, but I'm imagining he tried to eat him or throw him down a bleacher.
You gotta win.
Yeah. He's just
Ain't no fucking losers on my team. I'm
tried to
6, dude.
reached for his KFC bucket. God damn it.
Doug and Rob were college dropouts within months of entering their respective colleges, and then they just worked with their father at Deco.
Must be nice.
Labels.
Yeah, right? Dropped out of college, so I had to become a millionaire.
Yeah, right. Must be an artist.
vice
It wasn't
president
working
now.
out.
Yeah.
It's just,
Doug Jr. took working at the company very seriously and didn't want to let his father down at all. Rob was a natural salesman, but ultimately wanted to do something else with his life. As luck would have it, one cheap politician would change Rob's life forever.
Oh, I love when cheap politicians change my life forever.
Yes.
It's always for the better, too, right,
Yeah.
Travis?
Like when Spider-Man showed up and he's like, "What up, dog? Now
Meeting
it's time
adjourned."
for you to be a good boy."
Just spanked you.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Spider-Man. I know it's you, Toby.
Government-mandated spanking.
In 1993, Doug Holliday, representative of Ward 6, decided to run for mayor of Etobicoke. By recommendation of a friend, he found himself talking to the people at Deco, i.e. Rob Ford, to help him with his campaign signs. Something I learned in my research about running for any office. The only important thing is the signs. You don't need to have good policy or personal history. If you have good signs, you're probably getting in.
Rob's got a leg up. He's
Yeah,
a sign boy.
Sign company, man.
Yeah.
He bleeds signs.
Also, I want to, at this point, I was like, okay, who was it? Doug Holliday was the guy?
Yeah.
I feel like all the names that you've mentioned so far, Rob Ford and Doug Holliday and all these guys, they just sound like American bootlegs. Because we got Doc Holliday, Henry Ford.
Oh, yeah.
These are like the Canadian, off-brand versions of
Yeah.
American people.
I also did do a little checking back. There's no relation to Henry Ford.
No?
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Ford's a pretty popular name.
I
You
mean,
wouldn't be caught fucking a Canadian.
I only looked a couple generations back.
Rob Ford reinvented the sign factories. Before, they would make all the signs with their legs. And Rob was like, no, we will glue printer ink to their stomachs, and we will drop onto the paper
So that's how it was made
just
back
in
then.
a
Belly
line.
flop.
Eat all the corn I've put in your trough, boys. I must make the signs bigger today. Anyway, he and Rob were discussing how to take his old campaign signs and somehow repurpose him for his new campaign. Allegedly, after working hours nonstop brainstorming, Rob came up with the idea of printing a sticker that would cover the part of the old sign that said Ward 6 representative and replace the word with mayor.
Smart.
Now, Rob Ford was truly a political campaign strategist the likes of Toronto had never seen before. Fucking stickers, man. On signs.
Saving money that way.
Exactly. So Rob got a little taste of that simple syrup success, you know? Some of that gravy gumdrop called latent management of people's political consciousness.
Oh, yeah.
So Rob asked if he could join Doug Holliday's campaign because, you know, he's also rich. He doesn't have to work with Dad to get money. So he's like, hey, can I do this? And Doug was like, well, I don't have to pay you much, so sure.
Fuck.
How much you gonna pay me for food?
Are you going to have waffles every day or some days?
Maybe.
Can I make extra waffles for the next day if you're not going to have them that day?
Part of the deal is I have 2 Chipotle burritos instead of 1 during company outings.
You're asking for a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, later holiday.
Barbacoa.
Ford's going on a holiday.
Barbacoa tacos, Travis.
First day on the job, immediately, he addressed the big elephant in the room. He noticed that the
Rob?
man opposing Holiday in the mayoral election had way more signs than him. So Doug, being the smartest, imperfect peach in the back of the supermarket, put on a request for lots more signs.
There you go. More impressions.
And there you go, like that. Before you could wake up from a 4-month coma, Doug Holiday was the mayor of Etobicoke.
Ain't that something?
4 months.
Power of the sun, you know what I mean? Fucking brainwashing people.
Sign times, dude.
What do you put on these signs? Did it say? It was just like, time for a holiday, a mayor holiday.
Yeah.
Doug Holiday, sit back, have a good time.
I'd vote for that. That sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah,
Also, my mom was in the KKK. The guy who made this sign.
No, not his mom, his sister.
Oh, okay.
Between this and his father's experience as an MPP, Doug wanted to make some moves. He first ran for Toronto City Council in 1997, but he lost because he's dumb. And then he ran again in 2000, and he won against the current incumbent.
Because he wasn't dumb that
He's a
time.
winner.
Well, you see, the thing is, you can remain dumb, but you have to learn from your dumb mistakes and be less dumb.
And also, new millennium, man. Anything can happen. Bigger, better.
Yeah, right? New decade.
True. So between his 1997 loss and his 2000 victory, Rob's colorful personality got him a couple L's for the old puddin' pie team. In 1999, at the age of 29, Rob was pulled over in Hallandale Beach, Florida, where my grandma lives, and also the home of my favorite Greek restaurant, Taverna Opa. He
Is it
was
good?
driving drunk. Oh, yeah, dude, it's great, man. They got
check
belly
that out.
Tell me
dancers.
about it. Yeah.
There's
Where's
like
that?
fucking-
Tell
they
me
put
about
tits in your face the whole time. You're eating like a lamb.
So you're
more
telling me
kebabs.
I could eat a gyro while someone gyrates in front of me?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, while you can't eat it off of them.
Oh,
But
what?
they can shake themselves in
I
front of
thought
you.
the skirt was just going to be the lamb. And I'd sit there and go,
That might be a special. That might be a
A
special.
little extra bit of money.
Jump on the boat. They'll take you on a ride. See what happens.
Do you get a sponsorship?
I endorse this place, 100%. It's not that he got a DUI that makes this story funny. It's how mad he gets, I suppose. He was driving around in a shady area with no headlights on. Cop pulled him over and noticed that he smelled like booze and that he was also trying to hold his breath. He was nervous. He was pink and nervous, like he was for most of his life.
hold his breath.
Probably realized he was human
License
at that point.
registration?
I'm not drunk.
When the officer asked him to step out of the car, Rob went into overacting mode, throwing his hands in the air and yelling, "Go ahead, take me to jail." And then he pulled out a bunch of cash from his front pockets and threw it all over the pavement.
Wait.
So, like,
It
bribing.
seems like his mind and his body are doing two different, like, escape tactics to not go to jail. Like, his
but he just
mouth
ruined it,
is,
though.
like, doing reverse psychology while his, like, hands and body are trying to, like, bribe the cops.
Now, to be fair, I don't know exactly the inflection of how that was said. Go ahead, take me to jail. But I feel like there's ways you can inflect on that with the cash thing.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, yeah, go ahead, take me to jail.
Look at
Look
this.
at this money. I'm going to throw it on the pavement.
So I don't know, but either way, he was very loud and annoying. And if he thought he
Yeah.
was smooth, he wasn't. The cop was relatively puny compared to Rob, but he still continued with the sobriety test, which Rob failed miserably. He cuffed Ford and found a joint on him. And this is in 1999. Don't want to do that.
no.
He tried to give him a breathalyzer. It didn't really work because Ford just kept sticking his tongue into the tube and trying to blow next to the machine. But he was obviously drunk, so he just booked him anyway.
Oh, there's nerds at the end of the tube. I gotta lick it out like an anteater.
Gross.
Giant pink man just sucking on this piece of equipment that you have to keep in your pocket.
Sir, can you stop, please?
That has to go into my back pocket later. So anyway, he's formally charged, booked, and put in the drunk tank to sober up. Since taking office, Doug Sr. made it a point to cut off his kids financially as punishment if they did some dumbass shit. He wasn't really good at doing that, though. It didn't last long. Rob did a terrible job of trying to cover up his tracks since he left the paperwork in the family vacation condo for the next family member to find.
Jeez.
That's like when we left all those notes in Cyrillic in our friend Ray's family home for his dad who's afraid of Russians.
That was great, man. I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
I put delicious thank you on like a soap detergent bottle just to confuse the fuck out of them even more.
Doug Sr., of course, was furious, but he had to cover up that nasty weed part of the ordeal. Remember, Canada was just like us at one point.
Devil's lettuce.
So he hired a lawyer. Rob pleaded guilty to the DWI, and after some community service and a hefty lawyer bill, Rob was off the hook, and the record was put in a dark basement where it wasn't seen for quite some time.
Yay!
I thought you couldn't
Hey.
like do anything if you got in trouble like that.
If you have a lot of money, you can do whatever.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Especially because the internet was in such an early infancy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? There wasn't somebody like Snapchatting this,
Oh yeah.
this
Oh, do you think rich people
monstrosity of
nowadays-
a man.
Do you think rich people nowadays hate the internet?
Oh, definitely.
Because they can't make like past incursions go away as easily.
Yeah,
People
I
can
mean,
just record
you know
it
what I mean?
anywhere.
Yeah.
Of course that happened. They're so mad about this. There's no
Yeah.
just calling someone up and assuming that their line is not tapped at the moment.
Yeah. Please lose that file. It's just like there's 8 of them on 6 different cloud servers owned by
Scary.
the state government.
All right, so speaking of Doug Sr. threatening to take down the hammer and never really doing so, let's talk about Kathy's smooth brain and the company she kept.
Keeping it smooth.
So Kathy only hung out with the best people. There was a man named Aninos Sturpey.
Derpy.
Who lived with Kathy for 6 years and fathered one of her children. He was convicted of manslaughter for the brazen 1998 killing of Kathy's then boyfriend, Michael Kickless.
Jesus.
Oh shit! Wait, Kathy's
Okay.
his sister, right?
Yes, Kathy
Okay.
is Doug Ford's older sister.
Okay.
Kickless was gunned down with a sawed-off shotgun in front of Kathy's 2 children.
Jesus.
Oh,
Oh.
shit!
At his trial, Sturpey testified that he had nothing against the man he killed, but was in fact angry with Kathy.
Whoa.
Yeah, all right.
You
What the
kill
fuck?
like the boyfriend or husband just because
Was he
you're
the
angry
side
at her?
dude?
You can't have nice things if I don't have nice things.
Wait, was he like the side dude and he was pissed off?
No, this was an angry ex.
Oh, took it too far.
Way too far, dude.
The sawed-off shotgun's too far, Mike?
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 13 years in prison and released
What?
after 9. Shortly after his release, he was convicted of attempted murder for the gruesome stabbing of an ex-girlfriend of his.
What a fucking psycho.
I'm sensing a pattern.
After the death of Michael Kickless, Kathy moved into an apartment above the family garage. She then met Scott McIntyre, a functioning heroin addict.
Oh, nice.
Scott moved
cool.
into the apartment with his son, Chris.
Oh, cute.
Aside from the drug binges and the 32 counts of theft that the two racked up, all was well with Kathy and Scott.
Nice. Yeah, happy.
A little
Good
happy.
choices.
I feel like they probably had one of those like "Home Sweet Home" signs on their door.
Yeah, bless
Just
this
bless-
mess. And
bless.
just hypodermic needles in the corner.
Yeah, right. My dad's always sleeping.
Do you think they had the stick family, but it was just syringes?
Yeah, made of syringe.
Dad's syringe, mom's syringe. Oh, God.
Or there's just like one big syringe going through each of the family members, like a shish kebab of
That's
heroin.
what they have for dinner.
It runs in the family.
Can't explain it. I guess it feels good. In 2005, Kathy had gotten into an altercation involving her junkie boyfriend, Scott McIntyre. The two had been fairly close for a while, but one day Scott shot at Kathy's head while mishandling a friend's shotgun.
How
was Fortnite.
clumsy.
Oops.
He grazed her forehead with this incident.
Okay.
Oh shit!
I was just jiggling this trigger pot. Is that what it's called?
It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. It's just your forehead.
I was trying to play a different game.
She's lumpy to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're a fat
just
savior.
knock some lumps off of her.
No, her fat was, if she was less fat, she would have been fine.
Unless it hit.
Yeah. So Scott ran away, but was apprehended the next day. Kathy's two children witnessed the shooting.
Poor kids.
And the person I feel worse for in this whole situation is Chris, Scott's son.
Yep.
Now, Scott was playing video games upstairs when he heard the shooting and ran downstairs to see the commotion. The cops came and brought all the kids to the station, all of them very panicky, understandably. Two of them just saw what would be an attempted murder, and the other one was playing a video game and was interrupted.
I can't pause it. It's online.
Kill-tacular.
Playing Halo.
When the cops questioned Chris as to what was happening, he tried to lie on behalf of his father so he wouldn't have to go live with his crackhead mother again.
God.
The cops called him out for this as they had interviewed the other two kids first, and their story corroborated. They were right there. So called him out, and Chris eventually told the truth. Out in the lobby, all teary-eyed and snotted up, he saw Toronto City Councilor Rob Ford. The kid knew him well as the family spent time together. He cried to Rob, "Please, let me stay with you. I have nowhere to go." Fat Rob looked at him, straight-faced, and said, "I can't do anything," and then left the building.
Perfect.
No.
You're too big to swallow.
I'm late to a
Christ.
business meeting at McDonald's.
Here's $10. Beat it.
So, Chris had moved back. He had to move back in with his crackhead mom.
Wait,
I hope
did-
he's doing
did-
okay.
Did Kathy die or like?
No, she was just grazed, dude. She's fine.
Oh, okay.
But there was enough bullet going through her head. Just enough. Just a little. Anyone
enough.
could survive a graze.
Just knocked her sideburns off.
All right.
Her
So,
man sideburns.
anyway, that's enough of Kathy for now. I'm probably going to revisit one part later if we have time, which we probably will, so I don't know what I'm talking about. The Fords started referring to themselves as the Canadian Kennedys. Like I said, Rob was in council at this point. Doug was his right-hand man. Randy was wearing a cowboy hat a lot and went by Blackjack.
Important.
Yes. Very important man.
Randy.
He's a bully. Really quite important to have one of those in the family. And like I said, they're calling themselves the Canadian Kennedys. You know, they start slipping it in there, and they do hold all this weight in Etobicoke. So anyone who's running for any political office will go talk to them and be like, "Hey, can you get me this vote over here in this ward?" And they would do so. And while they didn't have a lobotomized child and a bootlegging dynasty under their belt, they did have plenty of scandal to go around.
Well, they had an almost lobotomized child.
Doug Ford Sr. had created what was known as Ford Nation, and Rob and Doug Jr. took it to the next level.
Is this a theme park?
Yeah, what's going on?
Like a Tubby Kids theme park? Don't worry, the water slides are extra wide for Ford.
Yes, we do put Splenda in the pool water to give the illusion of sweetness, but without risking diabetes.
The gift shop has no smalls in their T-shirt sizes.
all kids must wear a T-shirt in the pool.
Mandatory
You
rule.
must be this wide to ride the ride.
Jeez.
In August 2000, Rob married Renata Brezhniak at a lavish ceremony at some stupid country club. Aside from the money she received after Rob's death, it was a less than glamorous marriage they had. Yeah. Renata began drinking a lot. In 2005, Renata got her very own DUI. You see, ladies, you can do whatever men do.
Yeah, Title IX.
Rob Ford, obviously a political figure. I don't know much about Canadian politics other than they are fucked. Here's what I did gather so far, though. First, he was Toronto City Councilor of Ward 2. The other councilors hated him, and every time they would make a stink about hating him, the grease on his body would allow any dirt to run off of his rolls.
I
and
see.
he looked better to the people because he was often attacked by other councilmen on petty things. You know, he was you're too loud and round looking, and he'd be like, I don't care.
I just see the actual steam from his body fat emanating off of him.
This dude knew how to campaign. No joke. Better than just signs. As a councilman of Ward 2, he would rally often, giving his constituency his actual phone number so anyone could contact him directly.
Oh.
He would visit people at their homes and do his best to address their personal issues and make them feel heard.
Jeez.
His budgeting was fantastic because he was able to run his office with his own money. He was a millionaire, and he spent his own money on all of his personal items, not passing that along to the taxpayers. So that made him look good.
So politics are easier for rich people?
Yes.
You'd be there sitting on your couch with your butt plug in, and then all of a sudden, knock, 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 knock. You'd be like, I'm Ford. How are you doing? What can I help you with in the community? Because I'm all about the community.
Oh, well, thank you for coming over. I was just trying to open this pickle jar, and it's a little stuck. Do you think you can get it for me?
Oh, yeah. Just throw it in this roll right here.
You can have a couple. Well, I guess you ate them all. Well, thanks for coming by, Mr. Ford.
Thanks for coming by, Tetsuo from Akira.
He's got my vote.
Tetsuo. Kanada.
I would have voted for this guy if he came to my house.
So the other counselors were not millionaires and felt fine spending taxpayer money on their personal plans and events, which is like fair to an extent. Typical political bullshit. The council eventually passed a law saying that all money needed to be tracked, whether it was tax or personal money, claiming that they wanted a transparent playing field on how they were running their offices. I guess, like, I see this being fair or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
You know.
So Rob Ford's financial reports were, they had huge gaps of money missing in them, and he didn't really seem to care. And when he got called out for it, his brother, Doug, would just make up a bunch of shit and then send in invoices for everything. He was paying for shit on his own, and he didn't want the government telling him how to run his office. And his constituency loved him for it even more.
He's sticking it to the man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically how he won the mayoral vote in 2010. He was very open about wanting to run for mayor pretty much the second he stepped foot into council.
And he got a lot of signs.
He had a lot of signs, and
impressive.
anyone he talked to was all about Ford Nation.
Ford Nation kicking over there.
M. Night Shyamalan signs.
Overall, mixed reviews on Ford's council work, and his time as mayor was a little stickier, so we'll dabble in that. He was elected the 64th mayor of Toronto, December
Yay.
1st, 2010.
Ooh.
Pretty much, 11 years ago.
Wow.
To when we're recording this.
Crazy.
That's stupid long ago.
Rob
We
Ford,
also roasted the first mayor of Toronto, William Lyon Mackenzie.
Oh, yes, Lyon
He was
McKenzie.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, 10 years ago.
When he stepped in as mayor, his corruption started to seep out a bit. He was not really concerned with hiding it either, strangely enough. He solicited donations from lobbyist groups pretty much publicly, and when the MMP called him out on it and demanded he pay back money that he had elicited for his personal gains, he just refused.
No power play.
He was in court a lot.
And by court, you mean Jimmy John's.
Yes. So we're going to go back in time a little bit, jump around into some of the hilarious things Rob Ford had done between the council time and his mayoral time. In 2006, Rob Ford was at a Toronto Maple Leafs game. That's hockey for
Yeah.
you people like me. Sloshed out of his fucking mind. The dude was yelling at people around him, making pretty like shitty old person insults, calling other people
Okay,
boomer
boomer.
names, like
Got it.
knucklehead.
Scallywag.
Yeah, and when the couple in front of him asked him to please chill out, Mayor, he went into straight harassment mode, just screaming at them. He was like prime hammered. He was
You know who I am? This is my nation! Forg Nation!
Forg!
Forg!
I'm Forg. Daddy's Forg. Brother's Forg. He was escorted from the game and later apologized for drinking too much in general.
Oh.
Rob Ford also had a history of making strikingly homophobic remarks.
Oh.
He was the kind of guy who he drank too much. He was an alcoholic, and he would be seen out at dive bars and whatnot, just yelling F-bombs everywhere.
Come on, Rob.
Oh.
I mean, this is 2006. Very different time. I know time moves quickly. I'm not saying it's excusable, but it was thrown around a little more willy-nilly.
Yeah.
On top of the sightings of him at bars yelling gay slurs, one quote from his time in council haunted his career quite a bit. In 2006, there was a bill in discussion in council about helping people with HIV receive better treatment quicker.
Oh, what did he have to say about that?
Well, he wasn't for the bill. He was the only person in council who wasn't for it. And then he
Weird.
went on some rant opposing it, and it ended with a notorious line, which was, if you're not doing needles and you're not gay, you probably won't get AIDS. And that's the bottom line.
Wow.
All right.
Look at that.
So that was a little
That's
rough.
politics right there.
Yeah, it's just like, you probably won't get AIDS. So what are we doing this for?
But here's the catch-22. A penis is a needle of flesh.
Yes.
So, catch-22, I don't know.
I mean,
Flesh needle.
the implication is pretty shitty there.
Yeah, and also, like, that's like something someone would say in, like, 1980. This is, like,
Yeah,
what,
he's like
2006?
2006.
He's like 2 decades behind on his like progressive reasoning.
He's got
Yeah,
that boomer mind.
Boomer mind.
There you go. Good band name, Mike.
Boomer mind.
In 2010, as he was running for mayor, George Smitherman, another mayoral candidate, called him out for this during a mayoral debate. Ford squashed this really quickly by deflecting it onto him due to this billion-dollar project that got flushed when George was in control of the Ministry of Health. Basically, he just pointed out this thing that George had really fucked up and was just like, hey, I just said some shit. You just spent $1 billion of Canadian taxpayers' money, and that hurts.
It stinks.
Yeah. So it came up a lot in topic, in conversation, and the press absolutely loved picking on Rob Ford, especially for this the homophobic shit. The Toronto Star was always after him. This newspaper here. So they reached out to him for a comment about his homophobia, telling him that a man named Donite Henderson,
Donite!
an HIV positive gay man who used to be a huge Ford supporter, had contacted them, telling them his story about how he was going to volunteer for the campaign, and then he said that, and he was out. So, without telling his campaign team, Rob Ford, along with Doug Jr., went to meet with this man, the Donut Man, and apologize for his comment and make amends. On the record, Rob Ford said, I apologize if I offended you or your husband in any way. It's not my style. That's fine. It's fairly human,
Apologize.
right to the point.
All right.
Yeah.
But then Doug chimed in.
Oh, come on, dog.
And
Oh,
Doug,
I love this.
Doug made it very fun. So Doug goes, I've had my gay friends come visit me in Chicago. Gay men have slept in my bed.
Okay.
Okay, all right, Doug.
Pat
So
him on the head.
The
and tell him
campaign
to go
manager
away.
was absolutely furious because he had no idea that they were going to do this whole publicity stunt, and he read it in the newspaper while he's trying to get Ford in office, and he's just like, firstly, we shouldn't have addressed it at all. Secondly, why was thinks Doug is having lots of gay sex?
In Chicago.
Hey, go for
Let
it,
me
dog.
get-
Do you, man?
Let me get that Chicago dog with extra relish on my face. I'm Doug. And then I get a heroin needle in my arm. Oops.
And
Great.
so basically, it was a lot of unwanted attention because it just seemed very contrived for one of the Fords to go, "Hey, sorry about what I said. Didn't mean to offend you gay folks." And then his brother be like, "Yeah, well, I love gays. I have them in my bed."
Perfect.
The campaign manager even ended up having to drive Doug to the airport, or volunteered to drive Doug to the airport later that day after the newspaper came out. Doug was on his way to Chicago, and when Doug was getting out of the car to get into the terminal, the campaign manager just gave him a large box of condoms. I was like, "Have fun with your gay friends."
Yeah, there you go.
Safe sex.
Perfect.
So the story of Donite Henderson will continue.
Is that a Cody?
What?
You're very into science. I had to ask. Is that a new type of element?
Donite?
The donut metal.
I don't.
I want a donut now.
That sounds fucking organic to me, or less than metallic. Like, I don't know.
It is.
If it was a metal, it'd be like donutium or something like that.
No, this is a bad
Yes.
conversation. Donite Henderson. Dieter Donite Henderson.
Oh.
The full name. You know how I said Rob was big on talking to just anyone who cared about his campaign? Like, he would give you his phone number. When he was a councilman, you could just call him and he would talk to you.
Wants to build that personal connection, with people.
He tried to do that with Donite. And somehow a conversation with Donite Henderson and Rob Ford was recorded in which Rob offered to help buy Donite drugs.
Helpful.
Donite wanted to fuck Ford over, and the Star was most likely paying him for it. Nick Kuvalis, who was the campaign manager, I forgot to mention before, the one who handed Doug the old condom box, found out about this recording somehow, probably because Donite Henderson was alluding to this recording on his Twitter account. Posting that he had, quote, enough to destroy the entire Ford family legacy.
Ford Nation.
Ford Nation.
Got it.
But he's a silly donut. So one of Rob's other campaign staff, managed to catfish Donut into a link to the audio to confirm it was real. And it was. It was about 52 minutes of this nonsensical conversation where Donut was like, "Hey, I need oxys because I have some AIDS pain." And Rob started out pretty legit, like, "Oh, we'll see if we can get you a doctor and all this stuff." And like, you're like, Canada, that's
Free healthcare.
free
right?
healthcare. It's not always free healthcare. Whatever. I don't know all the way it works, but you can't just walk into a place and get oxys. So it was a legit conversation, like, "Oh, I'll see if I can help you out with a specialist, blah, blah, blah." And then at the end, Donite gets him to go, "Can we just buy him off the street?" And then Rob is like, all of a sudden his drug dealing kicks, and he's just like, "Yeah, let me see if I can. How much does it cost on the street? Let me see if I can get someone. Get someone.
Yeah,
to
I got
help
a
you out,
guy.
buddy." Yeah. Turns out that the Star actually axed the story because of their ethics. They didn't feel
that.
it was. They didn't
You're
feel
the Star.
Well, apparently they're a legit newspaper up there.
Right.
Yeah, bullshit. But they did decide to cut the story, but his campaign decided to get out in front of this, and they asked the Star to publish it, but spin Rob as a guy just trying to help another guy.
Like a drug dealer.
Yeah, and it totally fucking worked.
What?
Because the public just gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, shit.
Oh, he's the underdog? Or
Yeah.
something?
So he was like,
Dumb.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right? Isn't that fucking weird?
Rob was like trying to like Breaking Bad that shit in order to, like the story. Like, "Oh yeah, I have to do this. I have to go into the shed, find OxyContin for my boy."
Maybe everyone thought he was going to get free oxys from him or some shit. He's going to be like some
Oh, yeah,
cool mayor.
It's a lot more phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that guy's phone number.
Anyone got the mayor's number? I'm trying to fuck myself up.
I need a couple of oxys.
So for 2.5 years, Mayor Rob Ford was able to run the city pretty well, still while partying like a psycho and keeping it under wraps,
Jeez.
for the most part. After being elected mayor, Rob was partying really fucking hard. His wife, Renata, went to a friend, an ex-addict, to try to get some advice. Let's help Rob out. For the record, Rob never wanted to quit. He's a party boy.
Why would you?
So on the record right now, he's boozing.
He's doing it pretty good.
On the record, the press knows he's boozing. That's it.
Okay, all right.
So this friend that Renata met up with, who I couldn't find the real name, he had an alias named John, so that doesn't help. This friend was a real snitch and recorded this incriminating conversation between him and Renata. Quote, Renata, he still thinks he's got a party. He'll give up the pills, but he won't give up the blow. Now,
Makes sense.
my information for all this Rob Ford shenanigans is a book called Crazy Town.
Oh.
So, come, my baby. Come, my lady.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. It's by a woman named Robin Doolittle. She worked for the Toronto Sun and wrote all kinds of crazy stories about Rob Ford while he was in office. She covered several domestic abuse stories with him, like in 2008, after a 911 call from the Ford home, where he was charged with assault and threatening to kill his wife.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Was that him rolling over in bed?
I see what you
Help
did
me!
there. I was
I'm
waiting on that
dying. Wait, hold on though. I mean, all right, like I'm a big guy. I make these fat jokes. I'm a big guy. I can still
Yeah.
see my penis.
That's-
Could Rob Ford see his penis?
No, dude. No way.
Like, yeah. So what is he doing then? What is he doing?
He honestly should be smoking more crack.
Yeah,
Slim down a bit.
get healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had another couple of incidents with him being hammered and trying to get his kids into the car.
Going for a drive.
Yeah,
kids.
Get in the car. We're going to Bermuda.
I'm fine.
Now, St. Patrick's Day, 2012. This is when Rob started letting it go a bit.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
For the record, I'm going to read some things that happened on this particular day. It's a little out of order. It's all
Gotcha.
real. Rob hosted a party at his office that day, which ended up with him pushing over a staff member like a kaiju sugar cookie and telling a female staff member, "I banged your pussy."
Strong start. Good start.
He then
I banged your pussy in the past.
Yeah, I banged your pussy.
Let it be known.
Okay. She's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. He then got into a cab and said some racist shit to the Pakistani driver while drinking from a 40-ounce bottle of vodka.
Wow.
After ordering poutine at a place called the Beer Market, he was
Nice.
caught doing a line of blow in a private room, a club that he was later kicked out of, all while partying with an escort like a true sweaty fat mess.
Jeez.
How does the mayor get kicked out of a private room? You know what I mean? Like, that's impressive.
Well, if
How does
he's,
a mayor get led into a private room?
Yeah, right?
he's doing blow out of the hands of a hooker. Like, she was giving it to him hand style. It wasn't even on a mirror. Just like, here, drink this. with your
I do
nose.
it off your tits, but I can't bend over that much.
He then went back to his office and started crying and screaming over his recently deceased father and liberals.
He was just sad.
Yeah, so this was all pretty well documented. You can go look this up. Just type in Rob Ford, St. Patrick's Day. It's a fucking field trip.
Wow.
There's multiple accounts of this. A lot of people backtracked on their statements saying he never got kicked out. The manager of the club said he never got kicked out, but after previously saying he did. Who knows if we got paid off? It's just a fucking shit show.
He was still mayor after that?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't come out in the papers or anything like that? He was doing blow in a club or
No,
something?
it was out.
came out in the papers, but you know.
He's in there already.
That's
yeah.
politics.
Yeah.
Jeez.
In February 2013, Rob Ford was caught in a shopping center smoking weed. He had been spotted all around Toronto buying travel bottles of vodka, usually the cheapest he could find.
Getting caught smoking weed in a shopping center is, I think, the most trashiest way to get caught doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Do it
guy.
in your backyard or some shit?
Yeah, right. This guy owned a huge estate. He could have just chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, my second lake house that my family owns.
No. This TJ Maxx parking lot.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Better go shopping.
Actually, speaking of his property, in the book, they were talking about how one of these reporters from the Star had noticed that Rob Ford had put applications to buy some of the park that was next to his house. And the reasoning was he claimed that he wanted to be able to put a fence up between the park and his property. So this reporter was a little suspicious because he's this guy who spent most of his career pretty much just checking out Rob Ford. And he knew the estate. He was like, there's already a fence there. This permit doesn't make sense. So the guy drove over there. He went to the park, started taking pictures along not like into Rob's property. He just wanted to take pictures of where the
Surveying.
fence is. Yeah, he was just surveying, like totally legal. And Rob Ford came out, probably hammered,
Yeah.
giving him the, "You taking pictures of my kids? Take pictures of my kids," and he was gonna like run up on him, and he was all closed fisted and like wearing flip flops and no pants.
You fucking pervert! You fucking pervert!
Yeah, and apparently this reporter was such a squeamish little penis that he just dropped his phone and his camera. So Rob Ford tried to get ahead of that again, so he had another publication talk about how he found this guy snooping under his around his property, trying to take pictures of his kids. And the guy was like, "Nah." They ended up recovering the phone, and there was no pictures of
The kids.
or the kids, or the actual property itself. It was the property line.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, the amount of shit that Rob got
Yeah.
into.
He's doing tons of blow all the time. He's fucking probably nuts.
Yeah,
Constantly.
I can't really do it justice.
This is a big man too. You need a lot of substance to
Yeah.
get this
Probably
guy
always
going.
Pissed.
Yeah,
BMI.
and this is the reputation he had, and some politicians tried to use that against him, and a lot of the times it failed, and sometimes they played dirty. Like in March 8th, 2013, Sarah Thompson accused Toronto's mayor, Ford, of groping her, claiming that she thought he was on cocaine. This included inappropriate grabbing of her ass, and suggested that she should have been in Florida with him because his wife wasn't there.
Naughty.
Oh,
Naughty boy Rob.
But it turns out later two Richmond Hill counselors who were at the event came forward stating that they had witnessed Thompson asking her assistant to stage a photograph so it would look like Ford was groping her. She was
That's
trying.
bullshit.
She was trying to fuck him up on his mayoral campaign, and she was also running for some council member bullshit. So
Weird.
that's really the reason you don't want a bad reputation, so people can't fake it against you.
yes.
Yeah,
These politicians
but
are
also,
fucking sneaky.
Yeah, dude, Canadian politicians are monsters.
yeah, but also, I mean, let's be real. He was probably coked up and trying to feel.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely.
No, I don't think he was trying to feel her up, dude. I think he was just coked up. I don't think, he wasn't grabby.
Okay.
He wasn't a grabby guy.
So definitely coked up though.
Yeah, probably.
You think he was making weird noises?
Yeah, and it turns out later at this event, there was this whole thing where he was drinking too much and then was kicked out of the event later.
Right. Wait, but Tom, you said he's not grabby, but then he was caught like with an escort in a club.
Just because you have an escort doesn't make you grabby.
Yeah,
what
I
makes
know.
you
He was just
What?
using her hands to snort cocaine.
Yeah.
Don't touch me off the hand.
Dude, escort is a form of consent.
Oh, that's true.
professional.
No, I know it's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
It's only groping
I just
when
think
you ain't
I
asking.
just see the amount that this guy parties, getting caught doing drugs in parking lots, and like he's just constantly yacked up. He's a large gentleman.
It's a lot of cocaine.
Likes to
Yeah.
party.
Well, let's put it this way: it wasn't unreasonable. Like this
Right.
story was very believable. Anyway, Ford wasn't looking too good right now. He had been trying to privatize certain government programs, and some of it looked to directly profit him. That's not good.
No.
He made a shift from the I'm using my own taxpayer money to I'm using my own money to the I'm using taxpayer money to do some of my projects. One of them was the Charity Football League, which was a whole different scandal. I'm not going to get into it. It's not that interesting.
Oh, God.
He did
Canadian
go to court
football.
over it, but whatever. Remember Scott McIntyre?
Yes.
The heroin addict?
Yes, that's the one. Kathy's lover, yes. Well, in 2012, he put Rob in the spotlight again with this little theatrical performance, I guess.
Oh.
Scott and Kathy had been on and off dating this entire time. 2012, they were broken up. They were, how do you say, heroin mad at each other.
That's angry.
Somebody, I
That's
guess,
psychotic.
I guess someone just finished the last of the maple syrup and wouldn't replace it. You know, heroin addicts like sweet shit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to be in Canada, Canada has an actual maple syrup national reserve
Yeah.
that there was actual a heist for at one point. Some people like siphoned this national reserve.
I think I
Probably
remember.
heroin
Delicious.
addicts.
Yeah. I mean, heroin addicts just want sugar.
You telling me
On
that
pancakes
trees
now.
bleed syrup?
Yo, straight up, like heroin addicts love IHOP because they leave the syrups on the table.
Oh, you just drink that shit.
They just walk in there, order a cup of coffee, and then take all the syrup, and then they just lick the packages. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So
At
they
this
eat.
coffee house, we got a problem with them in Portland. At this coffee house, the sugar is just constantly gone. People will come in and grab it and run away.
Yeah,
Like
junkies.
little flies.
Yeah,
Like
you guys
little
have a lot of
flies.
junkies out there, right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I
Oh
used to
yeah.
have one dude at Dunkin' that used to do that. He used to bring a little grocery bag in, start stuffing it up. Fucking hated that dude. I restocked that shit.
Bastard.
I'm sure his parents hated him too. Anyway.
No, they were they didn't hate them, Thomas. They were disappointed in them.
All right. So anyway, Scott owed some money to some thugs, and he went over to Rob's house in the middle of the day, in the early morning, trying to get some money out of him, making all kinds of bodacious claims. We don't know if any of them are true, but Rob was the kind of guy who did do drugs with Kathy every now and then. Kathy was a tasteful addict, so she would spend a lot of time with heroin, but then also would jump around to cocaine and meth
Moderation.
and like she dabbled.
Musical chairs.
Right, and Rob would hang out with them and stuff, so he knew Scott. And these two mess of a men. Scott's broke as fuck. Rob's a billionaire. Oh, well, not billionaire, a millionaire. He goes over to Rob's, try to get some money. A neighbor calls the cops when he hears some commotion, and Scott leaves. Later, some cops got Scott on the phone, where he decided to go into full-on, smooth as a caramel-covered egg brain mode, and told the cops that he was going to cut off the mayor's head. They then apprehended him at a hotel with a bunch of drugs and threw him in jail.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So
Now-
don't
There's one more
saw
part
off
of
the
this.
mayor's head.
Yeah, you can't just make a threat to cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know the mayor? Go to cut off his head.
He's an important guy.
Free speech.
I didn't really mind it.
Speech.
Do they know about the First Amendment up there?
They
The
know
Great
about
White
it.
North?
They envy us.
Yeah, they don't even know about the second one either.
No.
No.
So anyway, like I said, they threw him in jail. And the really sticky part about this whole stay in jail that he had, it seems as though the Ford family had paid for some sort of jailhouse justice. And Scott was beaten to a pulp, knocking out all of his teeth of his droopy heroin head and had his leg cracked in half.
Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was most likely because the Ford family had someone do it for them.
Yep.
Well, yeah, who the fuck wants to beat up just like some heroin junkie that's in jail? Like, I feel like most of those beatings come from like either you were a gang member or someone wants you to disappear or
Yeah. Stop
like
talking.
you didn't want to take it up the ass or.
Yeah, too, yeah.
And if you're a heroin addict, you probably took it up the ass. Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Flesh needle.
Come on, Scott, give it up.
All right. Now, let's talk about the crack video.
Yeah.
Crack.
Meat and potatoes.
In May 2013, the American website Gawker and the Toronto Star reported that they had viewed a cell phone video that showed Toronto Mayor Rob Ford smoking crack cocaine.
Good stuff.
Wait, hold on. Gawker's the one that's gone because of Hulk Hogan, right?
Yes. That's
What
exactly
happened to
why.
Hogan?
Oh, you don't know about this?
I don't
Was it
either.
like his wiener or something like that?
So what happened was
Oh, the sex tape, right?
the sex tape.
Oh, the sushi.
But it was all set up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like some crazy shit. I don't know, but maybe we'll do an episode on Hulk Hogan when he dies. But either way, it's really funny to see his little shriveled nuts.
Yeah, brother.
According to Robin Doolittle, who works at the Star and also the author of Come Come My Lady, she was in negotiation with a man who had shown her and some of the editors at the Star the video the previous month. The man claimed to be working on behalf of the owner of the video and was asking for $100,000 for it.
$100,000.
This
Canadian
man
or
obviously
US?
knew nothing about newspapers. The man who recorded the video, Mohammed Siad, had been in contact with Ford, trying to sell him the video, but Ford's bid was too low. I believe it was $5,000 and a new car.
Fuck it. I'm not paying that shit.
Was that
Toronto-
car a Ford?
Probably was.
Ford Nation.
The Toronto Star were considering buying the video, obviously at a lower price, but they were still
on the fence about it because they were a bunch of fucking pussies. They're like, what if we give this money to a drug dealer and he buys a gun? That was
It's
straight up
true.
a concern of theirs. Like, fucking get the video. Like, you're not here to save the world. You're here to report on it. Get the fucking video. So they're working on this deal, but they were unable to make the deal before word got out about the video in the American press circuit. Suddenly, people at CNN knew about it. But it was just the image, one image. An image was provided to the Toronto Star showing Ford posing with 3 individuals outside of the house where the video was recorded. The photo was of Rob Ford posing with members of the Dixon Bloods.
What?
A Bloods gang.
What?
Peace.
Anthony Smith.
Wait, the
How are they
mayor.
posing? Like an album cover?
Would you like to see the picture?
Doing gang signs.
Yeah, wait, was he doing the Bloods thing with his fingers that I could never do as a child?
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't even try to. So those Dixon Bloods are Anthony Smith, Mohammed Khatak, and Monir Qasim. Now,
Okay.
there was a lot of gang violence in this area of Toronto at the time.
You know they had that there.
Oh, dude, it's bad up there.
Really?
Yeah, they got some bad areas.
I thought Canadians are always nice.
Smith was killed in a shooting in Toronto, March 2013, just weeks after the photo was taken. Ford denied the existence of the video and denied that he used crack cocaine publicly. He remained mayor even though members of Toronto City Hall Council called for him to step down. The video had not gone public yet, so Gawker set up a GoFundMe called Crackstarter to raise $200,000 to purchase the video.
And presumably arm a drug dealer.
That's a lot of arms.
yeah.
A lot of
So-
drugs.
So while this is happening, Ford continues to deny the existence of the video, and he fires his chief of staff for even insisting that he get help for health reasons.
Well,
Then more of Ford's staff begins to leave. The tensions are running high, and Ford vehemently denies the video exists and says that the Star is out to get him.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
I don't do no crack.
I'll snort it.
While most of this was happening, the police had the video in their possession. What was happening was they were conducting what was called Project Traveler, a sting/raid operation with the goal to clean up some of the gang activity and find out who was smuggling guns across the U.S. border.
huh.
During one of the raids, the police obtained the video that was on a man's cell phone. That man was Mohammed Khatak, who I mentioned before, who was in the photo. So the video took a long time to go public, but the reporters who had seen it and the picture had enough to engage with the story. Enough so that Ford is observed in August in the alley behind the Grand Hotel making exchange with a man on foot while in his SUV.
Why is he doing this in alleys and shopping centers? Like,
And
you're
in
that
person.
rich, just
Why
be
someone
like,
else do it?
like, dude, come in through the service elevator. There's an elevator that no one is supposed to see because it's for service people.
All right,
so just
Travis.
come up and fucking give me my fucking crack.
All right, to be fair, Travis, if you were a millionaire and you had a mansion and you started smoking crack, you dead. Because you just invited a crackhead into your house.
No, I'm saying you have your own courier to like.
Right, Cody said that,
visit
but,
the crackhead.
but Travis said, have the crack dealer come to your house and come in the
Yeah.
dumb waiter.
Well, I'm assuming if you're mayor, you probably got like a security detail, right?
I mean, less eyes the better, though.
Look, man, he was trying his best to be secret about it. So you just got to do it yourself.
It's a lot of body to guard.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, he's making exchanges with this guy on foot in his SUV. The alleyway area is known as Crack Central by locals.
I'd be nervous to sell drugs to the mayor. I'd be like, is this a good idea? You know?
Yeah, right?
Ford 2020. Ford 2020.
He's not dead.
So Ford stays in the Grand Hotel, which is just around the block, for the next 3 days and smokes crack.
Nice.
In late October 2013, police confirm that they are in possession of the video, and it is all real.
Uh-oh.
Dennis Morris, Ford's lawyer, appears on various media outlets denying that Ford is smoking crack cocaine in the video.
What's he smoking?
Well,
It's just weed.
denying.
It's CBD.
Oreos?
Yeah,
There
it's-
you go.
It's legal CBD from the gas station.
Legal.
Out of a crack pipe, though.
It's essential oils. It's eucalyptus.
It works the joints in a way that's never been done before.
You know what I never knew
Fat
about
joints.
crack?
That
What?
it's awesome.
Well,
Probably is really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I never knew that those roses. You remember when we were younger, you go into like a 7-Eleven or something, and there'd be those glass roses.
Glass roses. Yeah.
That was a
Yep.
crack pipe. I just never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Just like how when I was younger, I was like, why are they selling these Philadelphia blunts, cigars? That I haven't seen that many
for the
people
glass
smoke
roses.
cigars.
It could be a
You also need
one-hitter.
to be for the glass roses. You also need to buy like Brillo.
Yeah, but
yeah.
but it's enough to get going.
Yeah. So like do it yourself crack pipe kit.
Yes. So, Rob at this point refuses to talk to any press, and he is getting swarmed all the time. There's actually some funny videos of him telling people to get off his driveway because he's still strikingly Canadian. Get off my driveway, please. Get off of my driveway, please. I don't have anything to say about it.
Can you get off my driveway, please? Can you get off my property, please? Can you get off my driveway, please? Can you get off my driveway?
Polite,
how you-
passive aggressive.
Early November, Mayor Rob Ford admits to have had smoked crack cocaine, saying yes.
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly. Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
When,
But
sir?
no, do I? Am I an addict? No.
When have you
Have I
smoked
tried
crack
it? Probably in one of my drunken stupors, probably approximately about a year ago.
Oh wow.
Probably approximately about a year ago.
Probably.
The video itself wasn't made public until Ford was dead already.
Oh,
but
wow.
if you guys want to watch it,
Let's
there it
see
is.
it.
Yeah, throw that shit in
All
the chat.
right.
Robbie's
We're
having a
doing
good
it.
time.
On YouTube too. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
I wonder if
dude.
it's monetized.
It looks like Peter Griffin.
Family. It's,
Driving the minorities.
and
I'm right wing. I think these kids are
you're right wing?
No, they say I'm just right wing.
Oh, yeah.
Radical
oh,
guy.
Sure, sure,
Yeah,
sure,
I'm
sure,
sorta-
sure. Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
we're both
I'm right there. Leave back. Leave back in. That's
There's
right.
Mr. Trudeau right there. I like to get that Justin Trudeau and shove my foot as far up his ass because I'm sure it goes real far.
be careful.
I'm sure my.
He must have really controlled
Hey, I might have a fucking Justin Trudeau.
I hate Trudeau, man.
I tell you.
Hey, yo, man, scum.
So is he just okay with a camera being on him while he's?
He
No,
doesn't
he
know
didn't
what
know.
planet he's on.
How does he not know?
He's on crack.
Yeah,
All right.
he's on crack and he's wasted. That is a wasted man's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look in the bright sorts.
So this story is ridiculously complex because of how many people kind of had inside information and how much non-information was floating around. There's multiple stories regarding the events that took place involving the source of the video, the timeline, and the persons involved. But we certainly do know that Rob Ford was the second mayor to ever be filmed smoking crack.
The second mayor. Wait a minute.
Toronto?
Nope. We're not talking Toronto now. Now, I just want to let you know, Rob Ford did not break any boundaries with this. This man is still alive, but the first one was Marion Barry, Democratic mayor of D.C.
Ah,
And I figured I would
no.
just cover this quickly, just to illustrate how common crack is among mayors. On January 18th, 1990, Barry was arrested with a former girlfriend, Hazel Diane Rashida Moore, in a sting operation at the Vista International Hotel by the FBI and D.C. police for crack cocaine use and possession.
You think he was set up?
He was set up.
Oh,
He was absolutely set up.
bastards.
He was fine with smoking crack.
Oh,
I don't think the man was an addict, but he had a
it's like the
mistress,
party a little bit.
his
Just
girlfriend,
dabbled in crack.
who worked with
Yes.
the FBI and did set him up. When Barry was asked about the Rob Ford case in 2013, Barry denied any similarity to it, stating, "Unless he was entrapped by the government, it's not similar."
Clever.
Anyway, Ford's powers were reduced by council, but he didn't step down from office until his term was up in 2014. And the reason he didn't run again had nothing to do with the crack incident, rather some health issues. Honestly,
Crack usage?
no.
Okay.
All right, so for real, I 100% believe that if Rob Ford ran again in 2014, he would have been elected again.
Why is that?
Because I don't think people cared that much.
It's like he did crack.
Demoralizes me.
I think people like Jon Stewart and Anderson Cooper and fucking Bill O'Reilly gave a shit. Like these commentary news people. That's just a fun thing to talk about. But overall, he seemed to be doing an okay job with the city. And he was still the people's people.
He was doing his job, I guess. You know, and he was just having a little fun.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
why
but-
he's the best.
I've spoke to a few of our Canadian listeners, and they were like, "Oh, our national embarrassment."
Yeah.
I feel like once it came out that he was like, "Hey, like I smoke crack," I feel like the world is looking at Canada like, "Oh, you elect mayor crackheads." Like I know you mentioned right before about the D.C., the capital of the United States,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But like, Canadians, you know, they're all like, I feel like they're very like, they keep things tight to their chests, right? They don't want to show
Okay.
weakness like that. Like they're,
Well-
sorry, oh.
I don't know. You're more racist than I am, I guess. Like I said, he had some health issues. On September 17th, 2014, Ford revealed that he had been diagnosed with pleomorphic liposarcoma, a rare form of cancer. He announced that his brother Doug would run in mayor in his place.
Oh, good.
And, like you would expect, Doug ran for mayor and lost.
Oh,
Hey,
Someone asked me how he did it.
when do you
How
do
did
with
this
it? Was it at KFC? Was it at Popeyes? Was he eating a new chicken sandwich?
He was probably thinking about that. Rob went to some chemotherapy, which unfortunately didn't stick. And on March 21st, 2016, Rob died in Toronto, Mount Sinai Hospital, surrounded by friends and family.
And crack dealers.
Yes. Looking like that giant fat vampire from Blade.
there goes my best client.
And the Bloods.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's all I got on Rob.
Man,
this story is deep.
Yeah.
I am scratching the surface here. I'm not going to give this any more of my attention. There's lots of political scandal involved with this.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for you.
I
sounds like an
didn't
idiot
realize
to me.
he was so hood.
You got that street cred.
This picture's weird.
He's
Oh, yeah.
flexing hard.
Oh, yeah, there was also that video that you brought to my attention of him speaking like patois or
yeah.
whatever.
Like Jamaican patois. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to watch that together real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Leave me alone. Man. 5 months from and then trying to tell me, bro, we're counter surveilling the guy. You know what I mean? He's hiding here. I'm hiding here. Oh, we don't. Fuck. How much money that cost me? I said, bro, just cut some. No, man, no money, man. Cha. That bumper clock, man.
You say bumbaclot.
He's the fucking mayor.
Yeah.
Look at that photo of him.
Oh, his photos are the best. He's one of my favorite people to Google.
What a
Like-
hard thing to look at, that face.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm just-
I think it was Hillary Clinton got called out for doing like a Southern accent or whatever, right? When she was campaigning, and politicians do that all the time. They change their accent, right?
Yeah.
But
Trying to
that's
connect
a
with the people.
stretch. That,
Yes.
Feel me, rude boy.
that's a fucking stretch right there. I don't think he's
Oh.
Jamaican. Excuse me,
That
sir.
bald one.
I don't think you're Jamaican, Rob Ford.
What restaurant is he in there? I can't tell.
Oh my god.
Oh, God. he
Got a
is.
Pepsi fountain.
He's truly the best person to Google. That's his brother, Randy.
Hey,
See how
Randy.
shitty Randy looks?
A scumbag.
Yeah.
He's touching his tit right there.
Yeah.
Let me see. Randy.
Look at him. He's one of those guys who has to use 2 hands to make sure the cup doesn't spill while he's drinking.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, he's got a little milk mustache.
Dude,
Got a nice hat.
Randy
He died at 40.
Ford.
He died at 46, by the way.
He's pretty young.
Rob.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob dies
Look
at
at
46.
that outfit. Mob boss right there.
Dude, Randy Ford loves that hat. Loves that
Yeah, I
Crocodile
like it.
Dundee
Good
hat.
Yeah, no, they call him Blackjack because he wouldn't take it off.
Oh my God! Oh, this is a great family to be part of.
Yeah.
This is a great nation.
Canadian Kennedys.
And he was the mayor. That is so crazy.
Is this shit nuts?
That is so funny. What the fuck? He's
Yeah, so-
partying with people. That's pretty fucking cool.
Look,
I mean, he's a scumbag, but that's like, I mean, that stuff's like, I mean,
he's a people person, man. He
Yeah.
would knock on your door and be like, "Hey, you need any crack?"
that's fucking, that's what you want, you know, got your back like that.
Hey, Donut Boy, you want some oxys? I know the
Anyway.
Bloods.
I have HIV.
I know the Bloods.
So at any rate, that's Rob Ford. That's our
Wow.
coverage on him. He is really just one of my favorite people. I wish more people felt the liberties he did.
Yeah.
Wait till
Yeah.
you're 80 to smoke
Weed
crack.
in a shopping center.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, do it discreetly next time.
thank you, Tom. I
Yes.
was looking so forward to hearing about this man.
Yeah,
There were
funny.
so many,
Thank you.
so many great secrets you've unlocked about this massive gentleman.
Right? I almost feel
fucked
bad
your
roasting
pussy.
him.
I
This
think
is
we've been talking about his weight the entire time, but we've failed to mention the redness in his face from being constantly drunk.
Yeah, jelly bean.
I was calling him pink for like a third of this.
Really?
Yeah. Did you miss that? He's a pink boy, dude.
Yeah, he looks like a semi-cooked lobster.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who look like he just came all the time. Like he's just out of breath.
Oh,
and just
no.
like red and
He's
like
pale. He's pale after he ejaculates.
true.
He looks like he's always drunk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did have. I mean, his
Oh, he's
biggest problem
sweaty
was
looking.
alcohol.
Yeah.
But he accelerated it like a
That
fucking
rosy
champion.
drunk.
Use it to his
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, dude, he was just having a good time. Get off his back.
Got to know the people. Just listened up.
Well, Robert Ford,
Mingled.
I'll blow a crack smoke at you.
Pour whatever.
You know, give him a little speech when he's buying the crack too. He's like, "You should vote for me."
Yeah, he gives the business card.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some. I forgot it was. What was the guy's name? Holiday. Before one of his relatives very recently tried to get one of their minor league football stadiums named after Rob Ford, like the Rob Ford Memorial Stadium, and council was
great.
just like, "You kidding?"
Yeah, that's how I would. That's my reaction.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, who knows about this mystery of Canadian politics thing? But apparently, it's greasy. And
Like
thank-
poutine.
I got
Yes.
another Canadian politician down the line. That's all I got to say. I got another
Yeah,
Good. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Roast Mortem.
there you go.
Social media stuff. We got it. We got patreon.com/roastmortemcast. That's where you get all the goodies. That's where
Yeah.
you get all that. That's where you fill up your tummy with all them crack babies that you want to shit
CBD.
out. I don't even know.
one.
Yeah, legal
Yeah.
CBD.
From gas stations.
If that's something you want to do, you can do that on that website. If you want to follow us on social media, that's also Roast Mortem Cast on
Yeah,
Twitter
do
or on Instagram.
everything.
I don't really pay attention to Twitter that much anymore, so sorry in advance. I will get back to you if you email us or hit us up there.
Guess what? We get
DMs.
premium content on Instagram like Cody's forehead, which you will see right now. It's actually going to be a while. You're going to see it.
Retweeting my
and then
forehead? What's wrong
this
with my
episode
forehead?
will come out, but I'm looking at your forehead, Cody.
Why are you doing that?
'Cause it's sick.
Nice. And then you can follow Mike at where can we follow you?
I'm off the grid.
All right.
No, you're not.
You can't.
I'll dox you right now.
If you want to follow me, you follow me at SmoothBrain420.
That's right.
If
You,
you, want
don't
to
forget
lose,
that.
If you want to gain an extra chromosome, probably.
The internet's only chromosome service, Mike's Twitter
We're
page.
giving them out for free.
Yeah,
Bonus chromosome.
one and me.
All right. Go.
24 in me. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Less
Good
dishes, all right?
24 and me.
Yeah,
Oh, my
24 in me. Thank you. Good.
So, end of episode. You know what that means, people?
Remind them.
Obituary.
Yes.
Hooray!
There's a sexy bunch of you that think we're worthy of monies,
Yeah.
and we're gonna kill you now.
Well, first person that's gonna get dead with it for giving money out.
Yeah.
Cody,
That's what you get.
tell me.
I'm going first. Let's go. Let's go. Cody first.
Yes.
Let's go
Why not?
stuttering and Cody first. The person I'm roasting very gratefully is the one, the only, Jamie Hensley. She's a sexual patron of ours, and she is a producer-editor, much like a bunch of people on this cast, me being one of them.
Wow.
Me
wow.
too.
Wow, rub it
And
in Mike's
Travis-
face, all right?
Yeah. I mean, Tom does the audio, not so much the video, but yeah, Mike's the only one here that is not a producer of any kind,
moral
except a
support.
producer
hey, Mike
of
Mike
of Smooth
produces
Thoughts.
furry skateboards.
Yes.
I'm producing support, guys.
Okay, I'll buy that.
All right.
Sure.
And she, like I said, is a producer editor, and she gets a heavy commission from a very peculiar clientele. The U.S. government is just like, we need a poorly haphazard music rap video to inspire new recruits to join our military ranks. The guy that usually does this, Theo, is out today, and Jamie's like, okay, weird flex, but I'll do it. Money is money, and I'm a video producer editor, and she takes the commission.
Wait, so the song was done already?
Yeah.
I'm in the Navy. I look real like gravy.
But she's
I'ma
gotta,
jump
like-
around and touch all the sea creatures and shoot guns at them.
Yeah. Jamie's got to just cut to the beat is all. So she's scrubbing through like this top secret recruitment footage, and she notices there's a little bit of corrupted footage in there, or so it seems. And she plays through it, and it sounds like encoded audio, but not suited for the codec she was using, so it just comes in all scrambled. But suddenly the Amazon Echo in her fucking kitchen perks up and is just like calling an airstrike in current location. And then just screaming out of off the horizon, you hear like these unmanned drones. Yeah, that's the MP3 they play before they attack, just to terrify you.
Get her done.
Yeah, Prilosec OTC, and then just because Jamie siphons her Wi-Fi from her neighbor gets blown to fucking Kingdom Come.
Holy shit.
And just boom, and like it's a huge explosion, incendiary, napalm, and concussion, everything. But and Jamie's fine, she survives it, but it rattles the foundation of her building, and a little bit of plaster falls off of the ceiling and hits her keyboard and replays the fucking corrupted audio. And Alexa calls in another airstrike, and Jamie's like, fuck, because my neighbor isn't alive anymore and doesn't have a modem. Alexa connected to my personal Wi-Fi hotspot by default. So she does this like acrobatic duck and roll and scoops Alexa off the counter, fucking unplugs the dumb bitch, and like ducks and covers under like a fucking coffee table and survives the second airstrike volley that decimates her entire domicile, house, apartment,
That's when you just use the white phosphorus. Kills everything.
Kills everything. Not even germs survive that. And Jamie, with like fucking her Amazon Echo in hand, is just like, I'm pissed off, and she limps all the way to the nearest Amazon fulfillment center, excuse me, and she like fucking kicks on the door. It's like, hey, give me a refund. This thing tried to kill me twice in one night.
Kicks
And
down
then-
an already open door
Yeah.
during normal business hours.
Yeah, and then because like she's making a hullabaloo, like a security guard comes out, and Jamie's like, "Fuck you, get Jeff down here," and then sure enough, like the security guard like takes off his fake mustache, and he's like, "I am Jeff Bezos," and Jamie's like, I want fucking refund. This thing is deadly," and Jeff is like, "We don't do that here," and then Jamie's like, "Fine, 1-star review on your dumb Amazon Echo." And this puts Jeff in a blind rage, and Jeff Bezos stabs Jamie Hensley to death with his clip tie. Rest in peace, Jamie. That's what you get for taking money from shady government commissions. We love you, though. Thank you.
That's some wet work.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, wow.
Jeff Bezos.
Man, he did all that without revealing that he's actually a reptilian. That's got to give credit where credit's
Is he
due.
reptilian or amphibian?
No, he's reptilian. He's absolutely of the reptilian race.
Really?
All right.
Science.
Yeah.
All right, Tomas. Who is the next person that's going to die with it?
Next person up is Carlos. Carlos.
Yeah, I
is,
like Carlos.
Ooh. Carlos is one of the fine Patreons who went to the $20 tier, and I drew a picture
Big
of his
dick.
death. So now I'm going to describe how this good man dies. So Carlos is a man who pays very close attention to detail most of the time. He's one of the only men I've ever could imagine remembers to water his house plants.
Dude, I had a
cactus.
fern. Rip my fern.
Yeah, that cactus. Rip my cactus.
So one day Carlos is at work, and he decides to go drinking with some of his work pals, not because he likes them, but because someone offered to buy the drinks for him.
Free booze.
Yeah, which is
Not a bad
smart.
deal.
So he goes out drinking and gets hammered. So he leaves his car at work where the bar is at, bar work area. Right there, As you do. You roll right out of work, and there you go. So the next day he wakes up super hungover and late for work, and he doesn't have his car, so he calls an Uber. And as soon as he's about to jump in the Uber, he's like, oh, forgot to water my plants. Mm-hmm. But instead of watering them with water, he waters them with some leftover party liquor that was lying around. He thought it was water in a cup and just was like, here you go, guys. Sorry, I'm on the go. So
Some white tequila?
Yeah, so he gives him party liquor, whatever. We don't know. We don't know exactly what kind, but it very high in alcohol. So, like I said, he's in the cab on the way to work, and he has a normal hungover day, as we've all had. And after work, he rolls over to the bar to pick up his car. It's not even there.
Oh, shit.
What?
So he starts to panic. Doesn't see his car around. I like anyone would panic. You don't want to call the cops first because they're not going to help you. You want to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, the cops will convince you never had a car to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
And then arrest you for asking questions.
For breathing too much through your mouth.
They'll say they'll look into it. Never get back to you.
Yeah, it turns out he sees his car driving towards him. And inside driving the car is his neglected plants. Who are now on a hammered joyride looking to fuck shit up and have plant sex.
So much pollen.
Oh, my God. That just makes me think of Evil Dead.
Yeah, I mean,
tree
that's...
rape.
There's a reason that wasn't in the second one, which was considered a comedy. These plants they're like, oh, there's the man who said he used to love us. Because you ever see, like, plants get real dramatic.
When they're drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure if they were sober, he'd be like, hey, sorry, I forgot to, I gave you alcohol instead of water. Total accident, would have understood. They'd be like, no, you don't care about us. So his plants are driving his car, and they're trying to run him over. And after a few attempts, they finally run over Carlos, who is... he's dodging around, but it's a hard game. So they run over Carlos and crash his car into a Panera.
Oh, man.
That's a good place to crash into, though.
Soft bread.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's Carlos's car. He's dead already. It's It's very unfortunate.
Was the Panera next to a dispensary? Did those plants get their comeuppance and get smoked?
I'm not sure. I believe Carlos is somewhere in California, so yeah, that happened.
Could be. Non-zero chance.
Yep. Rest in peace, Carlos. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the patronage.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, you gonna do one this time? You gonna kill someone? You gonna kill someone?
Right,
you going to jail?
His last name was Joe Theodario.
No.
What is it again?
Joe Lothario.
Oh, Joe Lothario.
Yes.
All right, so I'm picturing... I don't really know much about Joe because all we have is his... So I'm just going to imagine Joe lives in the mountains and he's ripped as fuck.
Yeah.
Tight skin, always sweating, tons of creatine, lots of cats.
Wait, where the cats come in?
Yeah, what the hell?
Wait, all ripped men have cats?
That's what I'm thinking Joe has.
Travis, I believe you're the proof that is not the case.
Dude, I'm ripped. I got a keg, man.
Yeah, just because you rip pants doesn't mean you're ripped.
So, Joe's healthy as shit. So, he throws his AirPods in and he goes to pick cherries one day.
Yeah, what healthy people do every day.
Little did Joe know, when he went to go bend over for a cherry, he got a tickle on the ass from Sasquatch.
Where's he bending over for cherries?
Coochie coo, I'm a Sasquatch.
Cherries are on trees, Mike.
Joe said, uh-oh.
Yeah, all right.
And then Sasquatch ripped him in half and ate his meat. And then kicked his bones off the mountain.
Yeah, get these bones out of here. I don't need that no more.
Previously mentioned he was on a mountain, but good job, Mike.
I did. I said he lived in the mountains.
Mike, I like how you equated like a tap on the shoulder to a tickle on the ass.
Uh-oh.
I also just imagine Sasquatch throwing his bones over the cliff and just using like a wet wipe.
The moist towelette.
Yeah.
Joe, well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
We didn't even double check because Joe is actually I've met females named Joe.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. If you're a female, I'll redo it.
Yeah, we'll redo it. If we fuck it up so bad, Joe, let us know.
Or if you have an Instagram, I could see, follow
Yes,
us.
Only if you're a woman,
Let us
though.
know your pronouns.
Yes.
All right, and our last Patreoness
Do it.
is Izzy. And I know Izzy is from the good old England. Jolly old England.
Good day.
Spot of tea, mate.
Yeah, you know what you have with a tea? You have crumpets. You guys ever had a crumpet before?
I had the Thomas.
No.
Those are English muffins, actually.
See, like crumpets are like
Nothing to do with this.
crumpets are the real deal English muffins. They're like these it looks like an English muffin, but then it's all like cratery on top. It's got all these little holes, right? So when you put butter and shit in there, it just goes in the holes.
It just stays.
I like how you're just describing an English muffin.
Yeah. You have me really
No.
thinking of something. Isn't it a little bit sweeter? A crumpet. It's got like a
It's a little bit more cakey.
cornbread kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Right?
I want it. I
Yeah,
want all
yeah.
of it.
Okay. So she's a fan of crumpets because she's English. And what's her favorite topping for a crumpet? Usually people put butter, sometimes Marmite.
Beans.
Nah,
Some jelly.
she's all about clotted cream,
Oh,
which
how
is
English can one person be?
which is a real thing. If you guys didn't know what clotted cream is, it's delicious, even though it sounds like a cream pie during a period.
Clotted
Yes.
cream.
Clotted cream.
Clotted cream sounds like a porn star who has heart attacks at the end of every scene.
Yeah, it's his signature move, the heart attack.
So
Like
she's
an Albanese Ron Jeremy.
Wow, he was already pretty white to begin with.
So she's spreading her clotted cream on her crumpet and getting all that creamy goodness, filling all those craters that I was talking about,
Joyous.
you know? And
Yes.
she's just about to take a bite when all of a sudden one of those little goopy craters like bubbles up and pops. She's like, oh, that's weird. So, and then another one goes, like a little pop.
Oh,
Right,
oh,
boop,
okay.
boop. So she calls her boyfriend over. She's like, oh, look at this. And they're watching these things pop out. All of a sudden, they're leaning over. They're looking at these popping crumpets. And a tiny little face hugger, like from Alien, sticks to her nose.
Oh no!
But it's a
What?
tiny one. It's a little crumpet-sized one. You know?
Just fucking her nose right now.
Yeah, just sucking on her nose. And they're like, yeah. And they're both like, oh, that's kind of cute. Look at this little tiny face hugger. He's just woo, 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 woo. And
That's cute.
yeah, so they're both like, oh, that's cool. Then all of a sudden, out of all the other craters, because crumpets have a lot of holes in them, a bunch of face suckers come out. And they cover
Okay.
both of their faces. They collapse on the floor, and a bunch of baby aliens come out of their heads
And
and face.
And face.
Crump
face.
aliens?
Out of their nose and eyeballs.
Little
Like
John.
worms.
Orifices in general.
And that's how they
I don't
die.
know what's grosser, the clotted cream or the alien birth. But thank you, Travis.
Well, thank you for being a Patreon, Izzy.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we
Thank you.
appreciate y'all. So with that, bye-bye now.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
I'm scared of that spider now, Tom. They're on the floor.
Are you tired of not paying for your favorite product? Patreon.com/roastmortemcast.
What's a Patreon, you say?
It's a website where fans can support their favorite content creators.
Sounds like a deal.
Deal.
This is only if you got the money.
We got koozies, we got custom obituaries, we got stickers, we have movie commentaries that you download and watch with said movie. It's like you have friends in the room.
What if I don't like history?
You're wrong.
You love history.
How much money can I give?
Anything will help. We like doing the show. We're going to do it anyway.
Mike's losing us money in every corner.
Roast Mortem Cast is here to help you take a load off that wallet.
It's all been arranged just for us to get your money.
I'm telling you that you need to give money to Roast Mortem Podcast so we can do it even better.
Are you tired of exploiting these four men?
Or you could even sponsor. You got a stupid-ass business? I'd love to talk about your business.
I'm too busy to read. Where can I find this podcast?
So call today at patreon.com/roastmortemcast. That's ROASTMORTEMCAST at patreon.com/roastmortemcast.
Yeah, if you want to buy me a beer, that's cool too, you know.